music station, Hot 99.5.
Good morning, America. Breaking news. President Trump arrives back in Washington moments ago, declaring there is no longer a nuclear threat from North Korea after that historic summit, thanking Kim Jong-un and blasting his critics. Fellow Republicans wonder if he gave up too much for too little. The questions growing about that agreement and what it means for our military.
Also breaking, extreme fire danger. Massive wildfires torching thousands of acres out west. Mandatory evacuations ordered from California to Colorado. Flames threatening homes near Beverly Hills. And national forests are closed. Now, new concerns about that dangerous heat. The fire warnings this morning.
Dramatic crash caught on camera. A car barreling into a toll plaza, sending a passenger flying through the air. Everyone miraculously surviving. Now, a new warning about drowsy driving as millions hit the road traveling for summer.
And the race to rescue this raccoon, sending the internet into overdrive. This little guy scaling a building more than 20 stories high. People around the country watching live, the effort underway to save it.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
Good morning, America. Great to have everyone with us on this Wednesday, or Hump Day.
Yes, that's right. Hump Day. Hump Day.
Hump Day. Yep. And we have some breaking news just in, something to get excited about. The U.S. has won the bid to host the 2026 World Cup with Canada and Mexico. All our two soccer fans in our studio are
My
clapping.
husband's cheering really loudly from home right now.
As he
He's
should
a
be.
big soccer
Oh,
fan.
yeah, loves it. So everyone's excited at my house.
And everyone here is excited, just containing it. We have more on that coming up a little bit later in the show.
Yeah, and also just moments ago, President Trump arriving back in Washington, D.C., of course, after that historic summit in Singapore.
But there are still a lot of questions this morning about what was actually agreed to and what comes next. George leading our coverage from Singapore, and George, the president, just tweeting about this.
He sure did it. He was definitive, Amy. He said there is no longer a nuclear threat from North Korea. But as you said, there are lots of questions. The president's summit with Kim Jong-un has really delivered a shock to the entire global system. It's being felt in capitals all across this region. It's being felt in China. It's being felt in South Korea. We're also getting the first reaction from North Korea. Got to show you this here. This is the official North Korean newspaper. 34 pictures of the Trump-Kim summit. Lots of talk about the president's concessions, saying the president has agreed to stop those military actions. Also saying something the White House has not said publicly, that the president committed also to ending sanctions, to lifting sanctions on North Korea. But check this out. In a 6-page spread, the word denuclearization appears just once. It's that one tiny word highlighted in yellow right there, and it doesn't even say that it's North Korea that's committed to denuclearize. They say that is an obligation on both sides. There are, as you say, lots and lots of questions right now. I want to bring in our chief White House correspondent, John Karl. Lots of questions on Capitol Hill as well, but the president is being definitive.
The president absolutely is being definitive on this, despite those questions. Take a look at another tweet. He said, before taking office, people were assuming that we were going to war with North Korea. President Obama said that North Korea was our biggest and most dangerous problem. No longer. Sleep well tonight. So despite those questions being asked by some members of his own party, the president clearly believes he has scored a masterstroke here that could define his presidency.
On the long flight home from Singapore, the president offered a big thank you to his new negotiating partner. The world has taken a big step back from potential nuclear catastrophe, he tweeted. No more rocket launches, nuclear testing, or research. The hostages are back home with their families. Thank you to Chairman Kim. Our day together was historic. Overnight, North Korean state media lauded the deal, saying it has put an end to the extreme hostile relations between North Korea and the U.S.
Okay.
At home, the reaction has been mixed, with some of the president's fellow Republicans openly wondering if he gave up too much for too little.
I read the statement, and it's difficult for me to see if something was actually agreed to or not.
One concession that is raising concerns, what the president told George about putting an end to the joint U.S.-South Korean military exercises.
Did you talk about pulling troops out, U.S. troops out?
We didn't discuss that, no, but we're not going to play the war games. You know, I wanted to stop the war games. I thought they were very provocative, but I also think they're very expensive.
Ending the war games has long been a North Korean demand. In the past, the U.S. has said they are essential for military readiness.
I'm doing something that I've wanted to do from the beginning. We stopped playing those war games that cost us a fortune. You know, we're spending a fortune every number of months. We're doing war games with South Korea. And I said, what's this costing?
The Pentagon said Defense Secretary Mattis was consulted on the offer, but the move caught South Korea by surprise. In the joint agreement signed by the two men, President Trump promised unspecified security guarantees for Kim, and Kim declared his, quote, unwavering commitment to denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. The details on how this will be done and whether it will be verified still to be worked out.
You trust him?
I do trust him, yeah. Now, will I come back to you in a year and you'll be interviewing? I'll say, gee, I made a mistake. That's always possible. Because, you know, we're dealing at a very high level. A lot of things can change. A lot of things are possible. He trusts me, I believe. I really do.
There's no mention of human rights, although the president has called North Korea the most brutally repressive regime on earth.
Do you still believe that is the case, having sat down with Kim Jong-un, and does he need to change that?
John, I believe it's a rough situation over there. There's no question about it. And we did discuss it today pretty strongly.
A new story, a new beginning.
And there are new details about the slickly produced video that President Trump says he showed Kim during the summit. The White House says it was created by the National Security Council to help the president demonstrate the benefits of complete denuclearization and a vision of a peaceful and prosperous Korean peninsula.
And about the president's praise for Kim Jong-un, his personal praise for the dictator, he's getting some pushback on that. Marco Rubio, a Republican senator from Florida, says that Kim Jong-un is not a talented guy. He inherited his family business from his dad and grandfather. He is a total weirdo. Now, Rubio also says that the president was simply trying to butter him up to get a better deal. But all of this lavish praise on Kim Jong-un is something that is not sitting well with a lot of Republicans.
And everyone trying to figure out what this all means. So let's bring in our Chief Global Affairs anchor, Martha Raddatz, as well to broaden out this conversation. Let's talk about these military exercises first. A lot of confusion. We got a wind blowing here. A lot of confusion over what exactly is going to be suspended for how long, and whether we're going to continue to work with the South Koreans.
Exactly. The Pentagon and Secretary of Defense Jim Mattis may say they weren't surprised by the announcement, but they clearly don't know the details, because U.S. forces in South Korea said we have not gotten any updated guidance, and there's another big exercise scheduled for August. So does that shut down?
But you
they
can't
just
stop
don't know.
Military training.
Well, you can never stop military training. You have to, and I think that's the distinction that they'll draw. These massive exercises with South Korea, maybe they'll move them further away from the Korean peninsula, but you can't stop training. I've been to those bases many, many times. The motto is ready to fight tonight, and that's pretty much the motto of all of the military. You have to do those bombing runs. I mean, the president talked about that. Oh, they fly all the way to Guam. What a waste of money. You have to stay trained in those aircraft and in all those jobs you do in the military. So I suspect there's going to be a scaling back or moving it someplace else, or, oh, these war games, we'll call these the war games, we may stop those, but you can't stop
And
everything.
as the president said, the U.S. troops in South Korea aren't going anywhere right now. This line from the North Koreans, John, that the president committed to lifting sanctions, that goes directly against what the Secretary of State has said.
Absolutely. And what the White House is doing is they're referring back to the joint communique, which has nothing about lifting sanctions. The president was asked again about this, and he said they need to first take those steps towards denuclearization. In fact, the argument, what they've been saying consistently, is they have to fully denuclearize before they get any sanctions relief.
And the North Koreans are saying step by step.
Step
so
by
we have to
step.
keep an eye on that.
Huge difference.
Thanks to you both. Safe travels back. Back to you, Robin.
Okay, but we'll be back to you in windy Singapore in just a little bit, George. Thank you. Now to those massive wildfires raging out west this morning, scorching tens of thousands of acres in Colorado, and flames also forcing evacuations in Los Angeles. ABC's Kana Whitworth is there, and Kana, extreme heat could make the situation worse across the region?
Absolutely, Robin. Hot and dry conditions. There are 6 states that are under extreme fire conditions today. As these temperatures rise and that moisture level drops, it takes just a spark that could destroy thousands of acres. This morning from California to Oklahoma, tinder dry conditions stoking fires.
The landscaper that works across the street ran up and said that there was a fire, and I looked out and the side of the hill was on fire.
Residents forced to flee their homes Tuesday as flames swirled near this neighborhood in Beverly Hills, threatening million-dollar mansions and the homes of numerous stars. Helicopters battling the blaze from above. Crews attacking from the ground as well, fighting to control the fast-moving flames.
I hear all these fire engines. I'm thinking, what's going on? And then all of a sudden, the helicopter's like right above, and I'm thinking, this is not good.
In Nevada, this brush fire erupting overnight, spurring voluntary evacuations. In Utah, homes fully engulfed. Residents resorting to using garden hoses in a desperate attempt to fight the blaze. And in Colorado, massive wildfires displacing thousands of people and destroying tens of thousands of acres. So right now, that fire here in Beverly Hills is 40% contained. People were allowed back in their homes, but authorities telling us the fire started by someone using equipment to remove brush, and the heat from that equipment is what ignited the hillside.
Wow.
Amy?
All right, Kana, thanks so much. And let's head over to Ginger now, who has more on the dangerous heat and what it could mean for those fires raging right now. Good morning, Ginger.
Amy, it does not look good conditions-wise for the next 3 days. Let me bring you to it. 45 large wildfires, many of them in Alaska, but many of them right there in the Southwest. And that excessive heat is on. There is a warning for heat of more than 110 degrees for many of the areas you see in pink. The red flag warnings meaning high fire danger from Utah through Colorado. And there's just one thing that I can tell you. There's places like Phoenix or Tucson that haven't seen rain for more than 3 months. Bud in the Pacific is moving north, and we're going to get some of that moisture pouring onto New Mexico, Colorado, and Arizona, Michael. So that could help as we go into the weekend.
All right, thank you so much, Ginger. We're going to go from those wildfires to new trouble for that dancing FBI agent whose gun went off at a Colorado bar after a backflip. You can see there, 29-year-old Chase Bishop turned himself into police and has been charged with second-degree assault. ABC's Clayton Sandell has the latest in Denver. Good morning, Clayton.
Hey, good morning, Michael. Bishop is scheduled for his first court appearance here in Denver this morning. He's already facing that one assault charge, but prosecutors warn more could be coming.
This morning, the FBI agent whose dance moves went viral for all the wrong reasons, turning himself in. 29-year-old Chase Bishop surrendering to police Tuesday, charged with 1 count of assault in the second degree. The June 2nd incident all caught on tape, showing Bishop off duty at the time, doing a backflip at this Denver bar when his gun falls to the dance floor. He bends down to pick it up, accidentally firing a single shot, hitting 24-year-old Tom Reddington in the leg.
I heard a loud bang, and I thought, oh, some idiot set off a firecracker. All of a sudden, from the knee down became completely red. And that's when it clicked in my head, oh, I've been shot.
Pretty shot in the leg.
I don't blame the guy. I don't want to ruin his life. I just want a private phone call from this guy.
This morning, the FBI isn't commenting on the charges, but has said Bishop will be held accountable. The district attorney says the agent and decorated former Army captain may be facing more charges once lab tests are back that will show if or how much Bishop had been drinking.
Now, I did speak with Bishop's attorney last night. He said this whole thing has been devastating both for Bishop and the man who was shot. Bishop has not yet entered a plea. Robin?
I would say primarily for the man that was shot. All right, Clayton, thank you. And now to the announcement rocking the fashion world. Guest co-founder Paul Marciano stepping down after accusations of inappropriate conduct. Now, you may recall supermodel Kate Upton coming to GMA to discuss that. Lindsay Davis is here with the new developments. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Robin. Teenagers growing up in the 80s likely remember it, that famous upside-down triangle with a question mark. Well, after questions, allegations, and a subsequent investigation into inappropriate comments and unwanted groping by designer Paul Marciano, a restructuring is now underway. Marciano is leaving his post at the iconic clothing company he co-founded.
Guess now announcing its co-founder Paul Marciano is stepping down as the company's executive chairman after a sexual misconduct investigation into allegations of improper behavior. The company announced Tuesday in an SEC filing that its investigation found that on certain occasions, Mr. Marciano exercised poor judgment in his communications with models and photographers and in placing himself in situations in which plausible allegations of improper conduct could and did arise, adding that Marciano and the company paid a total of $500,000 to 5 women to avoid the cost of litigation and without admitting liability or fault. Earlier this year, actress and model Kate Upton accused Marciano of harassing her at a lingerie shoot when she was just 18, alleging that he forcibly grabbed my breasts and started feeling them and grabbed the back of my head so I could not move and started kissing my face and my neck. Marciano denied the claims, calling them preposterous, something Upton addressed when she sat down with Robin here on GMA.
I think it speaks to how he's treated these allegations in the past, and it used to work before, but that's not the case anymore, and we're being heard, and our stories are taken seriously.
This story was first reported by The Blast. The SEC filing notes that some allegations against Marciano were not able to be corroborated. Guess has appointed Marciano's brother to take his place as chairman of the board. While Marciano has resigned as chairman, he will remain on the board.
All right, Lindsay.
Thank you.
Thanks very much,
All right,
Michael.
thanks so much, Lindsay. Thank you, Robin. Now to that blockbuster deal that could have a major effect on your phone and TV bills and the kind of service you get. A federal judge approving AT&T's $85 billion takeover of Time Warner. And our chief business correspondent, Rebecca Jarvis, is here. Rebecca, tell us what this means for the consumer.
Hey, Michael, good morning. Yeah, this makes AT&T an extremely powerful company. And what it means for the consumer is that now housed under one roof will be satellite, wireless, HBO, CNN, TNT, TBS, and Warner Brothers. That again means that AT&T wields a lot of power. And for an AT&T consumer, what it might mean is more opportunity, more types of services on your phone, on your DirecTV. You're going to have access to potentially more content. The argument is also that AT&T now might allow people who have an AT&T wireless service or a DirecTV service, they might allow them to stream without using the data. So all of a sudden, HBO or CNN or TNT, because they're owned by AT&T, if you have an AT&T plan, all of a sudden you can stream that without.
Make you want to go to AT&T for that plan.
That's why they want it.
But you get more, but with more usually comes the higher price. And what about price and privacy?
And this has been the big argument here going in, that this would raise prices, because oftentimes when you have mergers, they can hike prices because it takes away competition. That was the argument that was made by the Department of Justice. The judge in this case didn't rule that way. The judge in this case said, actually, I don't see the argument, but now AT&T can compete with companies like Netflix and Amazon better.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a long way to go. I guess we'll keep our eye out and see how it works out.
And when the story broke yesterday, I said, we're going to have Rebecca on this morning to help us explain. Thanks,
Big
Rebecca.
deal, $85 billion.
Yeah. Thank you, Rebecca. Now to that breaking news about the World Cup. Just moments ago, soccer's governing body announcing that a joint North America bid by the U.S., Canada, and Mexico won the right to host the 2026 games, beating Morocco 134-65. Fortunately, you don't have to wait for 2026 for the World Cup. The 2018 tournament actually starts tomorrow. But unfortunately, for the first time in decades, the U.S. men's national team did not qualify, won't be competing. But you know what? We've got another chance in 2022.
That's right. Keep hope alive.
You know, you got to do that ancestry thing to see where you're from and you root for them.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Let's get over to Ginger.
Well, let's get to the stormy cities, brought to you by CarMax.
Turns out things aren't always what you think they are. Take guinea pigs. They're not pigs at all, nor are they from Guinea. Or take this haircut. I may look all business, but look out! There's a party going on back here. Kind of misleading, isn't it? Well, at CarMax, you don't have to worry about being misled. The price online is the same price in the store, which is the same for everyone, even guinea pigs. It's only fair, Mr. Biscuits. Only fair.
A much warmer day, and today is going to be a little sticky, quite humid, a little uncomfortable as we track rain chances. We'll have some showers around lunchtime today, a few passing, and then there could be some thunderstorms. Any storms that we get could bring some high winds, maybe even some small hail to the area. It's our only chance really for the rest of the work week, even for the weekend. But humidity levels will come up this weekend for Father's Day, close to 90 degrees. With higher humidity, it will be a bit uncomfortable. Your next chance of rain next week, next Tuesday.
Coming up here on GMA, the woman who says she is grateful to be alive. We'll tell you why.
I have to tell you something